My name is Natasha Chumia. I'm the CEO of Diaspora Connect. And on this channel, I like to give you information and inspiration on the Zambian property market to help you who lives abroad buy property in a safe and reliable way. Good evening, Harold. I know it's evening for you. It's morning for me.
Yeah, good morning, Natasha. It's evening here. It's just past 5 p.m.
How are you?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. So just please start by briefly telling everyone your name, who you are, and where you are in the diaspora.
Thank you, Natasha. My name is Harold Mayaba. I call myself the lion hugger, and a lot of people have been asking me why I call myself the lion hugger, but that's a story for another day. Yes, so I'm based in New Zealand, South Island of New Zealand, to be specific, in Nelson City.
Okay, wonderful. So
Yeah.
you caught my attention because you have a very, very ambitious property goal. So why don't you share with everyone what your goal is when it comes to property back home?
I've got a very serious goal, Natasha, when it comes to investing in properties back home. And when I share this with people, some people say, are you crazy? I'm saying, no, you can call me crazy, but I love to be called crazy because when I set a goal and I get it, I get what I want. So I've got a goal of building about 40 houses within the next 5 years.
Wow, 40 houses within the next 5 years here at home.
Actually, let me just rephrase, because that goal is already underway. So in short, in the next 5 years, all my 40 houses should be done.
Amazing. So this is like you're building a property empire back home.
Exactly. When I started, I thought, in Zambia, pretty much everyone wants to build a house. When you have extra money, you start molding, bricks because you want to put a structure. But for me, being here, I thought I'm not building a house there that I want to live in, right? I want to build a house for business. Then I realized that when you build a house there for rentals, depending which part of the country, pretty much you'll be getting 1,000, 2,000, depending on the quality of the structure and the location as well. So I thought, what is the 2,000, per month? So I thought scale is the goal here. If I build more houses and if I'm charging 2,000 rent per house, then I'll be making more money rather than just put one structure there. That's nothing. That's just sheer waste of time.
Absolutely. So how did you come up with this goal? What made you decide that you wanted to have this goal of building this property empire back home? I mean, there could have been other things you're putting your time, attention, and resources to.
As a matter of fact, Natasha, I had a goal of having my own house way back when I was still a teenager, because I struggled a lot in life. I remember one point, I was kicked out of the house as a teenager attending high school, and I had nowhere to sleep. And I remember within 3 months, I moved from one home to another. Actually, I moved to 4 different homes whilst I was attending high school. So I made a goal whilst I was still very young to say, when I grow up, I want to have my own house. I just want to have my own house. Of course, I'm going to rent for a little while, but after that, I want to have my own house. So that was my first goal. My initial goal was just to build my own house, right? After achieving that, then I thought, if I put another structure, that will give me extra money. But after putting one structure, that's when I thought, actually, I can put 2 more, 3 more. Then I thought, wow, let me just do it. Let me just go flat out and have more than 40 houses in Zambia and put them on rent the compounding factor from 40 houses, I mean, that's pretty good money for a holiday, right?
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah.
You're getting more than a holiday. So this is amazing because it sounds like you went from being homeless to building this empire. So what have you accomplished so far?
So far, 2 houses are done, 6 flats are almost done, which actually we are just finalizing within 2 months. So within 2 months, actually, it will be 8 houses. We have already started another project of 6 more, just in Silverest. And the target was that by the end of the year, though we are running, we've lost about 2 months, but we are still targeting by the end of the year, those are the 6 houses that we started in Silverest should be done as well. So that come 2025, we are sitting on 14 houses that have been done.
That is brilliant. That is really, really good. So what you're saying is that right now you have 8 houses and you have started building another 6.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Now, I know what people will be wondering, especially those who are watching from the diaspora, is how have you managed to even build the 8 from all the way in New Zealand?
Do you mean in terms of managing people who are building or raising money to build?
Well, we'll talk about both. Let's start with managing the build, because people have major headaches, even just building one structure, like one house. Even locally, it's difficult to build one house. What more when you're all the way in New Zealand? How have you managed to do that?
Thank you. That's a very important question, actually, Natasha, because it's not very easy. Whom do you trust? Because doing things on a remote control is not easy. I've heard a lot of stories, people, they lose a lot of money. I'm lucky I've got my sister who's my best friend. So the first 2 houses, actually, I tested my sister first to see if she's able to manage finances. So I tried her, and then she passed. Then she got married. After she got married, now my brother-in-law, he's the one who's actually spearheading everything. So it hasn't been a walk in the garden as per se, because I remember the first builder I ever engaged, we had to let him go. We had to fire him within 2 weeks because I discovered that the whole idea was to use good quality materials, yes. Right? Then he lied to us by trying to get bent bricks. By that time we were building in Mazabuka, by getting bent bricks somewhere from Magoy area, just the backyard bent bricks. Meanwhile, the whole program was to use good quality material. So we had to let that one go. Mm-hmm. So then we found another builder who was working hand in hand with my sister. So we used to send money to my sister, then my sister would buy materials, hand over the materials to the builder. And my sister, she's so good. She'll keep even a coin and report it to you.
Wow.
Unless you tell her to use it.
I have heard so many stories by people who their own family are the ones who end up chewing that money. So you're very, very lucky that your sister is able to give you that level of accountability. I can tell you that not everybody has that kind of support system. So then, but you mentioned something very interesting. You said you tested your sister. How did you do that?
Even the Bible says, if you can't be trusted in small things, how can you be trusted in something big, right? So what I did was just try to send money to my sister and say, can you do this for me? And then pretend to have forgotten how much I sent. After a few weeks, I knew how much she had spent, and I knew how much was the change. And I didn't test her once. I tested her several times. So I got to my sister and said, my sister, last time we bought this, how much money are you still keeping? Meanwhile, I've got the records here. She'll tell me exactly.
Wow.
And I know at one point probably she'll listen to this and she'll just laugh. And I tried that method. I used that method several times. Then I thought to myself, all right, she has passed. Now we can go to another level. She passed the exam, the test. She passed the test. And I said, now we can go to another level.
Wow. Amazing.
Of course, my sister at the moment, she's not fully involved. She got married. Then the husband took over from her. But the beauty about it, the husband, he's even far better than my sister when it comes to accountability.
You're very, very fortunate. You're very blessed. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
Yes. So, okay. So that's how you're managing to do it. You're basically using your sister and brother-in-law to help you build back home. You send the money to them. They pay the contractor. Tell me about the financing. That's the other part of the question. How have you managed to do it financially on the financial side?
I found it to be a little bit cheaper to build back home when you are here. I'll give you the reason why. You just have to save, for example, if you put aside $100 per week, because here we get paid every week or every 2 weeks, right? So because of the way the system works where you get paid every week, if you're able to discipline yourself to put aside $100 per week, convert $100 New Zealand dollars to Zambian kwacha, I think today it's around 2,000 kwacha, right? 2,000 kwacha. By then, the pocket of cement, a few years ago, I think it was still below 100 kwacha. Already you're talking of about 20 bags of cement in a week. 20 bags of cement can go a long way. So I think because of the system here where we get paid per week, it allows that continuity for the guys there to keep on building. As long as you're able to spare even $100 a week, it doesn't take much.
That's
so if
Continue.
So if actually and moreover, we didn't just start like that. We planned. You save a little bit, right? When you save money a little bit, maybe if you save about $5,000, $10,000, when you save about $5,000 to $10,000, that's a good starting point. Whilst they're using that money, if you're putting aside $100 a week, there'll be continuity with the guys building there with no problems at all. So I think what really helped, the way we planned, like you save for some time, they start building, then it gives you time to start saving again. And mainly you are just saving, for example, when you're putting the seal up, that's where you need a lot of money. Roofing, because you are an expert in this area. You know the stages where actually you need more money. Raising walls, that's not a problem, not a big deal at all. So I think to answer your question is what has been helping us is because of the system here where you get paid per week. If you can discipline yourself, yeah.
Yes, and I mean, I know, of course, we are talking hypothetical numbers here, but if I can summarize, what you're saying is that one, you use savings, so you save methodically, and then secondly, you are budgeting from your ongoing income that's coming in from your salary. You're saving from there so that your projects are always being financed.
Yeah. But another area that I want to emphasize, because someone will say, "Oh, no, that's not true." I've learned not to put eggs in one basket. I don't rely on someone to pay me a salary. That's another aspect. I don't rely for someone to pay me a salary. So that one has helped us well because I'm an entrepreneur who tries a lot of stuff. Other businesses, they do fail on the way, others, you know. So
course.
even before then, of course, we had a backup with some small businesses that we started here.
Okay, all right. So there are basically three sources of income now: savings, salary, and your businesses. What about, have you borrowed there where you are, or even here at home? Did you access any loans to help you build?
So for the project in Lusaka, the one we just started, we have borrowed back in Zambia
Okay.
because someone said, oh, actually you can borrow here.
Mm-hmm.
We are still trying to actually make a final decision whether we're going to use that money that has been approved.
Okay, so you have a loan that's been approved, but you haven't yet drawn down on that loan.
We have drawn just a tiny bit to kickstart, but we are trying to say whether actually it's a good idea, because we are looking at how long it's going to take us to pay back. But of course, the whole idea is if we withdraw all the money, we want to build those houses within few months, the next few months, then those houses, they'll start paying back without us sending money from here. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a possibility if someone wants to get a loan from Zambia National Building Society, that's where we got the loan. There is a possibility, but you just have to make a decision whether it's the right thing to do, because it may not. If, for example, actually you have maybe some savings here, which is almost equivalent to the money you can get from the Zambia Building Society. If we get the whole money that was approved, again, we are not planning to actually wait for 20, 15 years to, no, that's not the whole idea. We're going to use money from here actually to clear that loan within the shortest possible time. All we wanted was so that we don't take another 2-3 years to reach the target of about 20 houses.
Fantastic, brilliant. So I love this. So now we have 4 sources of income. We've got the savings, we've got the salary, we've got the small businesses, and then we've also got loan financing. And this is great because it shows people that these things are not out of reach. It's something that we can all do. But I think the thing that's underlying what you're doing, what I can hear, is financial discipline. You have to have a lot of financial discipline, isn't it?
That's very important. That is very important. Financial discipline, that's very important. And I used to think for you to start building, you should have millions of dollars in your account. Not really. It doesn't work like that, because if you're waiting for those millions of dollars in your account, it will never happen.
That's right.
It will never happen. So you just have to start from somewhere.
Yes. But I want us to talk about the cultural aspect of this, of what you're trying to achieve. Because I know that for all of us, we're all Zambians and we all have family members. So how have you dealt with the situation of wanting to pursue your goals, which is going to lead obviously to financial freedom, and then having relatives back home who are constantly asking you for money?
That one is huge, Natasha. That one is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think our culture, and that's part of our culture that I don't like. The problem with our culture is that if you have a little bit more than I do, it's like it's your responsibility to look after me. That's one part that I don't like. Some people, they call us. It's amazing how many calls we get even a week. Someone will call you to say, oh, you've never given me money. Oh, it's been 1 year, 2 years since you gave me money. Can you please send me money for pizza? Can you imagine that? Now, when they see that you are building, you're doing something, they say you have money to share.
Yes.
Even when the truth is that maybe you had to discipline yourself to deny yourself some holidays for you to start building. They don't think in those lines. Maybe you got a loan here, they don't even think in those lines. As long as they have seen you that you're building or you're doing something, you have money and you have to share.
So how do you deal with those requests?
So how I deal with those people, and my brothers, they know me. If they are constantly asking for money, I'll give them a job. I'll involve them in my projects to say, go and work. Then I'll give you money. Which sounds weird. Culturally, our culture, you can't do such a thing, right? But that has helped. My brothers I work with now, they understand. When they call me asking for money, then I say, yes, I've got this money, but unfortunately, this money was meant to pay some people who are helping my builder. Would you be willing to be one? Then I'll give you this money. Yeah, because I'll tell them, yeah, I've got the money, but it's budgeted for something else. If you can go and be involved in my project, here's the money. Of course, for some people, that doesn't sit well with them. But I'm sending a message to say, if I create employment for you, why can't you go and work for the money? But most of the people, they don't like that. And Natasha, unfortunately, that's our culture in Zambia. And I tell my brother sometimes, I say, if we don't change our mindset, we should even forget about Zambia developing. We should forget about it. Because our mindset in Zambia is wanting things for free.
That's right.
So it starts with, it's at a low level, just family level, but it goes even to other levels in offices. Politicians. I don't want to sound too political, but that's the reality. It goes. And how do you expect even the country to develop when actually people, they want things for free? I think we're brainwashed somehow. I don't know when it started, but before that mindset, before the change of the mindset. But I love my brothers. At the moment, they understand.
That's right. So you had to go through a process of changing their mindset.
Changing their mindset. Because I asked them a question. For example, I said, why don't you have money to buy whatever you want? Oh, I don't have a job. Oh, that's good. You don't have a job. So if I give you a job, will you be able to go and work? Then I pay you. Then they say yes. Then done deal. Go and work. Yeah, go and work on my project. I give you money.
Harold, I'm running out of time. So what would you say to other Zambians in the diaspora who haven't even built a home? Maybe they haven't even bought a property back home. What would you say to them?
That's a very good question, and I'll be very careful the way I answer this question, because I know there are people who've moved to other countries and they say, I've got nothing to do with my home country, right? So why should I be investing there when I'm not going to go back? Nowadays, you can invest anywhere in this part of the world. And building back in Zambia, it's far much cheaper. To get a house there is far much cheaper than anywhere else. But of course, someone again will say, oh, you put a structure there, it will be giving you $1,000 or 1,000 kwacha per month. What's that? That's where the compounding factor I'm using comes in. It is better to have a structure that is giving you even a 1,000 kwacha per month than having nothing. And who knows, you can be here today as a citizen or permanent resident. What if you decide to go back home?
Exactly.
Things do happen.
Absolutely.
Things do happen for whatever reasons, for different reasons, you know. You go back home, that same structure where when you are overseas, the one you thought is nothing, so that would be a starting point for you. You have somewhere to start from. So for me, I think that's what I would say. To have a structure somewhere in this world, doesn't matter where, that's the starting point. It's better than not having anything. Because to have a house here, you need to borrow money, a lot of money, to save a lot of money. And just one house here, you convert it. The money that you can use here is converted to how many structures you have in Zambia. You have more than 20. So, yeah, in a summary way, to answer your question, Natasha, is to have a structure back home is better than not to have any at all. Moreover, who knows what tomorrow brings? Exactly. You may find yourself back to the roots.
Harold, this has been excellent. I love the way you've broken down first of all, I love the way you've broken down what your goal is. I love the way you've shared part of your story with us. This could have easily gone on and on. I love the way you've also talked about the cultural mindset. And there's obviously a lot more to unpack in your journey. So for those who are going to be in the Property Investors Club, we are inviting you into the club so you can talk now in detail about some of the challenges you've encountered, how you've overcome them, and how you're continuing to forge ahead on this very exciting project. My hope is that your story has put a fire in people's bellies. I hope it's fired them up to really think about starting their own projects back home.
Thank you, Natasha. I talk a lot. I can be talking till cows come home, go back tomorrow. Talking is my hobby. So I talk a lot. I'd love to continue chatting more in this area because the cultural aspect, it's huge.
Yes. And we are going to have you inside the Property Investors Club. So Harold, we're going to end it there today. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for sharing your story.